right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Strawberry Hill Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Simmons, and we are here at the Shop Cigar Lounge. Like I say every episode, if you haven't been here, come on down. Before we get started, make sure you follow us on all the platforms at Strawberry Hill Podcast, and we're on all of them, so please follow us. So today we have the owners of Ash and Anvil and good friends of mine, Lou and Derrick.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, welcome in.
Thank you, brother.
How you guys doing?
Great Cigar, day. Coffee, inside. I mean,
it is.
How can we go wrong?
Freezing outside.
Beautiful shop.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Beautiful.
You guys have a beautiful shop too.
You know,
I'm glad you guys are far away from me because you.
We might be running a closed sector.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous.
Well,
Lots of room, relaxing, leather.
Yeah.
If you're in this area, you gotta come.
Well, thank you.
Check out the shop.
You know, and it's
gorgeous.
One thing I love about the cigar community, because I've smoked cigars since 2011, 2012, and one thing I noticed when I was getting in is just like the culture of cigars. It's like everyone is pretty much friendly to a point, and everyone gets along with each other. And it's like they don't really care how much money you make, what race you are, or anything. It's like you got a cigar in your mouth, you got good conversations. That's all that matters. And then getting into the ownership of Cigar Lounge, it's like I know if I have questions, I'll contact you guys, and you guys help me out, and I'll contact Ben from Wakatura. It's like a family.
And there's enough room for all of us.
Mm-hmm. And that's what drew me in as well, was just the culture of cigars, you know. Mm-hmm. I've only been smoking cigars really since about 2019, so I'm fairly new to this still. But, man, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the history of the tobacco, the history of the industry, and then going and sitting in lounges. You know, it really is. It's the watering hole. It's the place where you come and meet and all different backgrounds. We all have something in common. And, And as far as the shops go, like it's great. It's like family. You know, we're not really in strong competition. You know, it's really a great culture.
Yeah, I don't think it's competition at all. It's like the more people you can bring into the cigar culture, the better for all of us.
And you know, there's a lot of people out there that don't. They look at the cigar and they go ooh, or yuck. Mm-hmm. But so when you get a kinship in the lounge with another fellow cigar enthusiast, they understand the leaf.
Yeah,
it's all about the leaf coming together and the flavors. And like I always say this, we live like kings and queens.
Yeah.
Where can you go open the door and hit every country?
Yeah.
Right at your fingertips. Mm-hmm. You know, Nicaraguan, Dominican.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And you just pick it up. And, you know, they say 300 hands have touched this cigar from birth.
Yeah.
And then
which is crazy to think about. Yeah.
You just pick it up.
Yeah.
Cut it and light it.
I always tell people, like, you don't realize how many people have made the cigar that you're smoking.
And their passion. I mean, it's not a cigarette machine somewhere.
Nope.
This is passion.
Yeah.
Hand labeling. We'll get to it. You should tell them about your father, the Hecko Imam.
Now I got to hear about
it. We're gringos.
Sorry,
right?
Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gringos.
We're gringos. We don't speak a whole lot of Spanish. And my dad, who's another owner with us at the shop, man, when we first got started, we would share what we're smoking all the time. We had a little video app that we would use, and we would talk to each other all the time. And I'm smoking, you know, Undercrown 10 by Drew Estate, and these are the flavors that I'm getting. And
by the way, shout out to Undercrown and Drew Estate.
Drew Estate.
Yes. Thanks, David Payne, for the cigars.
Yeah. Since day one of our shop, Dave's been on deck, on board.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to give a shout out.
No, it's great. But my dad, every one of his cigars, he's like, they're all made by the same company, Hecko e Mano. and all the bands, you know, a lot of the bands say handmade, Hecko e Mano. It's a Hecko e Mano. Everything's made by the same brand.
Yeah,
it's wild.
They got a monopoly over.
So we don't let him live it down. We'll call him up. Hey, how's that Hecko e Mano? You know.
Girl, how long have you been smoking for?
I would say I'm 59 this month.
You don't look a day over 57, wow, so you're good.
Yeah, thank you. Derrick did all that to me. All this hands-on construction. I was about 40. I was a cop. It was Veterans Day, and I had an Army buddy call me up. He says, "Get over here. I got something for you."
Wait, where were you a cop at?
Emporia.
Really?
12 years.
Good for you.
Yep.
All right.
So went to his back patio, and he had a long neck sitting there, and this big cigar. And I was like, "Dude, I'll try that, but." He goes, "It's $40 cigar. You're gonna smoke it.
Yeah, you better smoke the whole thing too. Yeah,
I'm not gonna tell you where I got it, but you're gonna love it." Lit it up on the back patio. The city was quieting down. We're having that beer. We started talking about Army stuff.
Wait, this is off duty, right?
Off duty. Oh yeah. That was on my lunch break.
Hey, you're left. You're like, it's
lunch
4
break.
beers in. Yeah, we're
4
good.
beers in. I'll take that call. I got it. Yeah. So Steve and I were sitting there, and he said, "You're gonna love it." I took a couple puffs and accidentally kind of went out through the nose, and I was like, "Whoa, there's something to this," you know. I got about halfway through that thing, and I'm not a big alcohol guy, but we'd had like 3 or 4, and that was probably about doing me in.
Yeah.
And then I just had to slow down on that. I just couldn't put it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, the next week, I think I need a cigar. The next week, I think I need a cigar. And then his father and I, we grew up together, and we would go grab a smoke every now and then with a coffee, and it just started into a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dad started smoking cigars. It was probably 2012. I know it was 2012 because it was the year my daughter was born.
Yeah.
And he started smoking cigars very occasionally, one every few months. But
Milano.
he was smoking the Milano. Yeah. Oliva.
Oh, yeah.
And so he ended up buying a couple. They were Java Mint cigars by Rocky. Rocky Drew Estate.
Quite the transition from Oliva to Java Mint.
He bought those for me, and he was like, "Hey, you got to smoke this. Let's go sit on the patio, have a drink, and have a cigar together." So I started smoking those with him. But really, I mean, again, I wouldn't even consider myself a cigar smoker at that time. It was one every 6 months, maybe, out on his patio. And I was a high school teacher. And
wait, what?
Yeah.
What did you teach? History?
Earth and space science.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Geology and astronomy,
Dinosaurs.
Meteorology. Yeah, big into paleo. And I'd always wanted to watch a rocket launch. Mm-hmm. It's been on my bucket list since I was a kid. I've been obsessed with dinosaurs and space since I was a little kid. And so my wife, I came home from school, from work. It was.
Wait, what school was it?
I taught in Gardner.
Oh, so
I grew up in Gardner. I taught there. That was the only place I taught. I only taught for 5 years, which is the national average for a high school teacher, public school teacher. So I made it, but
I did it, Dad.
No, I guess I did not. But so it was the day before Halloween, 2019. For whatever reason, we had Halloween off that year. Halloween was on a Friday. It must have been in service or something. I don't remember exactly why I had that day off, but I had that Friday off. And I come home from school, and Thursday night, my wife's like, "Hey, pack your bags. Surprise, you're going down to Florida with your uncle and your dad, and going to go watch a rocket launch."
That's awesome.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm so excited. I pack up, and we're supposed to go. My dad's got a buddy who's got a boat who's going to take us out on the water, go do some ocean fishing, saltwater fishing, which I've never done. And so we fly down to Orlando, and the whole time, leading up, we're driving to the airport. I'm watching the updates. It's a SpaceX launch, and I'm watching the updates, and I'm following it, and I'm really into it. And we get on the plane, and obviously I shut everything off, and we land in Orlando. And the first thing I do, what's the latest update on the launch? They canceled it.
Was it because of weather?
Yeah, high winds.
High winds.
Beautiful, sunny, clear skies, windy, and so they canceled the launch. So I'm like, all right, well, at least we get to go fishing. This will be fun anyway. We get to go do some fishing.
High winds.
Call the guy up. Well, the waves are too big for my little boat. There's no way we're getting out this weekend in my boat. So now we're in Orlando with nothing to do. And we check into our hotel, and we ask I don't remember if it was the Uber driver, the person at the hotel, like, "Hey, where can we go get some lunch?"
I think you called the concierge.
Yeah, maybe it
I
was.
think that's what it was.
But they said, oh, there's a Cuban restaurant just down the street. You got to go check that place out. And it's about 3 o'clock. So we get in there, and it's us and the owners, and that's it. The owners of this restaurant. And we're sitting down having a little Cuban coffee and having a Cuban sandwich with them. And I don't know, a couple hours went by sitting there talking to them in the restaurant. And we said, well, let's go get a cigar. We're here in Florida. Florida is the mecca of the cigar world here in the U.S. Let's go find a place to go have a cigar. So he points us down the street to this little shop called the Admiral's Club. And nice shop, small, but nice shop, cabinet humidors. And
Little liquor coffee bar.
yeah, we had a few drinks, and I was smoking, I think I was on my third Padron that night. 1964s, that was my go-to at that time.
That's
That was his go-to, yeah.
It's quite the cigar too.
it's a
It's
great
quite the good, expensive go-to.
Yeah, it's very quality.
I think I was like 3 cigars in, and I don't know, 4 or 5 old fashions in. I said, we should do this. Like, this would be fun. We could open up a lounge and we
On the
can do
patio, all the people walking around, just out in front of the shop.
Yeah.
Oh, we could do this. And I'm like, do what? We're doing it. No, we could do this.
this. Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm 56 years old here. What are you talking about? I said, I flipped a couple houses, but I don't know, I don't think I'm in.
So we got back from Florida, had a great trip, smoked a bunch of cigars. That's pretty much all we did.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, if we're doing it, I'm getting into it. So I started smoking everything I could get my hands on. Smoking, visiting all the shops around Kansas City, traveling to Omaha, going up to cigar shops up there, St. Louis, going to shops there, down in Oklahoma City, hitting every shop that I could find.
It's exactly the same thing I did.
I came from it I was a science teacher, so here I am collecting data. I'm sitting in a cigar shop with a notepad.
That's
I'm
just
watching the watch. Like,
so weird. That's exactly what I did.
He was like,
I have a little black book that I still have.
He's on it.
That I went to every lounge I could for
you gotta do your research.
like probably 6 years. I did a lot longer, and I was just writing down notes every time I went in a lounge. I wrote down what I would do and what I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
what I would change, what I wouldn't change.
right. And I was taking it's 7:03 p.m. 6 people walked through the door. 3 of them bought cigars. 2 of them left. They sat down for an hour. I was taking notes on everything, collecting data. Just trying to figure out, is this even viable? Is this a business that
1% of the market.
Lou, scoot your mic a little bit closer. Sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, bro.
So anyway, so we decided we could do it and started looking for buildings and found a really nice building in my hometown where I wanted to be.
Yeah, they called me up. Hey, what are you doing? Come here. Check this. We got something to show you. Start off this little building, not even 22 feet wide.
Nah, it's tiny.
I was like, 5 cigars were opening the front door. This ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Come across the street. And there was a lady running a business in this building. And we're walking, tape measure, like, oh yeah, we could do this, we could do that. And she's like, what's going on?
Like, we're moving you out. That's what's going on.
That's what happened.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a win for the owner of the building. It was a win for us.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And that person was going to be moving on anyway. Right. And it was just, you look at that building, you're like, oh, like this, 100-some years old.
Yeah. You
It's
guys
just-
have a very similar building.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just the brick. And we cleaned all the brick. It had automotive paint on it. Mm-hmm. Like,
So what was it before?
So originally, when the building was built in 1905, it was the second building on that piece of property. The first was a wooden building with the same floor layout as what our building is currently, except for the back half of the building was horse stalls. It was a blacksmith shop. And, Gardner, where we're located, that's where the California Trail and the Oregon Trail split.
Yeah.
So the pioneers headed west, came through town, came through Kansas City, went through Gardner, and there they had to decide, are they going north on the Oregon Trail or south on the Santa Fe, California Trail, which then later splits, or maybe it's the other way around. But anyway, they split there in town. And so this would have been a vital stop, the blacksmith shop. Any tools you need, getting your wagons repaired, getting your horses shoed, whatever you got to
axles,
do.
harnesses, staples.
Right, whatever you've got to get before you head out west. That was like the last stop for a long, long ways. I mean, many days, get out towards Wichita. Maybe I'm not sure where the route actually takes you, but you get out west, there's not much out there. So it was a blacksmith shop. It was the first building, the original building was a wooden building, and as wooden blacksmith shops probably do, that one caught fire and burnt down. That one burnt down in 1897. The same guy that owned it, the Hayden family, they rebuilt
John
our
Hayden.
building. And the original blacksmith that worked in there, his son took over in the 20s, and it was John Hayden was his name, and he ran that up until the 40s when it became automotive. And I grew up there, just right around the corner from where the shop's at. I lived, you can almost see the door of my house that I grew up in, and it had been automotive all the way up until then, until it was like 2017 when the shop moved out to a new building, and it sat vacant for a while, a couple years, and then we took over in 2019.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. It's so weird listening to your story because it's so similar to mine. Like former cop, and then like taking notes all the time, and then like the building. Like this was after it was like a funeral home, it was like a upholstery shop, and then it was a mechanic shop.
Oh yeah.
And so it's just like a lot of, and then this building was built in or late 1800s, early 1900s. We're trying to figure out the exact date.
It's about the same time.
Yeah, about the same time.
And if you look, the architecture is very similar.
Yeah.
And they're still standing.
Yeah. This building. I tell people it's like
craftsmanship.
if some major catastrophe happens, like this building ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
They've withstand the test of time for sure.
Yeah. So, how did you find out all the history of the building? You just kind of.
There's a Gardner Historical Museum a couple blocks away from us. And we spent a lot of time in there talking to the Rankins who own that, or who, I guess they don't own it, but they run the historical museum in town. And they have photos dating all the way back into when that building was the original building. And they've got a pretty good history of the buildings in downtown Gardner. So it's kind of cool. We opened up a bar. Our building is split where 2/3 of the building is cigar lounge, and then the other third we've opened up a speakeasy.
Yeah.
1920s themed, prohibition themed bar.
6 months it's been on.
Yeah, it's been
Six.
about 6 months. And
We built it.
yeah, we did it all. But our old fashioned, we try to pay homage to the building.
Yeah.
And the name Ash and Anvil, the shop's name, goes back to the history of the building. And when we created our old fashioned, we named it the John Hayden Old Fashioned after the blacksmith that worked in
That's
there.
cool.
So it was probably 2.5 months ago. John Hayden's twin nephews or great nephews, or I'm not sure exactly how they're related, but they had just turned 21 and they came in and they had their first drink.
Yep.
The John Hayden Old
awesome.
Fashioned. They bought a cigar and they sat in the lounge. And we sat down and went through the family album, looking at pictures of the shop throughout the years.
That's cool.
And
It's really-
pictures of the family. It
Makes
was
you feel like you've done something.
Oh, yeah.
They appreciate we kept it alive.
Yeah, keeping the lineage.
And one of the
still
family
alive.
brought a picture in and he was a whiskey drinker.
Yep.
So it was even more cool that we named the old fashioned after him,
Yeah.
So we've got an anvil, not the original, but we have an anvil on a pedestal next to the humidor with his picture and a pair of blacksmith tool.
That's cool.
Just you don't ever want to forget,
Yeah.
where it came from.
Are you from Gardner too?
I'm not. I grew up with Glenn, 8th grade, 7th and 8th grade. His dad. I stole his lunch money. So he's been following me around ever since.
Yeah, he needs that money back.
He wants it
Yeah,
back.
he's
hurt.
like interest is.
I got him good.
Yeah.
Yep, this guy came home in a very little, tiny little, like next to your dad's shoe.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
You were
Well,
just
I
a
don't
little.
remember. I remember
you were a
seeing
little
the
guy.
pictures.
I was
saw the pictures.
at the time I was on leave in the Navy, and I had drove home, and Tamala and Glenn presented me with Derrick. I was like, wow. And you're just like, man, we're getting old, Now he's got kids, and
Yeah.
and then you lose track of everybody when you go into the service. You're always all these other countries, and so we got back together and always tried to do our official coffee club, cigar, coffee, and of course the boys started getting involved, and it just, it's just what's cool about cigars is no matter what you're doing, you're taking time out for yourself.
Yeah, I tell people that's
It's
one
a
of
break.
the beauties. It's like you have to slow down.
Yes.
Like if you want to smoke a cigar properly,
Yeah.
and I tell people, everyone always asks, like, how do you smoke it properly? Just stop what you're doing
Right.
and just relax and smoke. That's how you smoke a cigar. Like,
Try.
yeah.
When we first started this journey, Cigar Aficionado, they came out with a issue of Cigar Aficionado, and we were flipping through it. And I think it was a J.C. Newman advertisement in there. And it was a full page, whatever it was. I think it was J.C. Newman, but it was a picture, like from, if it was my perspective, the guy's got his feet kicked back and a cigar in hand and a drink in hand, sitting on a beach. And the advertisement said, "Welcome to your 1 hour vacation."
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's what it was. You take a break, you sit down, you relax, and
we've done a lot of videos in the truck, hauling stuff to the dump.
Yep.
It's like, you got to sit and relax, but we're not that guy. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I'm right there with you.
But we're
It's
still trying to get one in.
relax. Yeah. So what made you pick Gardner? Just because you guys, or because hometown wanted to?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to stay in town. I got kids in school, and Gardner for me. After high school, all my friends, they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of this little podunk town and go do something." And yeah, I don't know. I never really felt that.
Yeah.
Gardner was always home for me, and I moved around a bit and lived overseas for a little while. Came back, got married.
You lived overseas?
I lived in Spain. Yeah.
My wife's from Spain. This is getting
no way.
weird.
We just need to create a tunnel.
Yeah.
Where's she from?
Madrid. So her mom is from Madrid. So she's technically, my wife's not from there, but she went over there every year to see her family. Her whole family's over there. So I just say she's from there.
I lived in Seville.
So
southern Spain.
Yeah, we visited when I went over there years ago, like 5-6 years ago. We visited Seville.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. I lived there. I lived right down in the
Are we
city
brothers?
And you were a cop?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, man.
So how long did you live in Spain
Got
for?
you something.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, brother.
Oh, on air. Oh, there we go. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Little thin blue line. Yeah. If
Got
you guys
one
didn't know.
Got one on the
Yeah.
lid.
Heck yeah. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir, bro.
But so I just knew I wanted to stay in town. My wife and I were living in town, and it was our anniversary one year, and this was probably 2017, and my parents took the kids, and we had nothing to do. Like, let's go have a nice dinner. Let's go find some live music. And there was nothing. Between Gardner and downtown Kansas City, there was nothing.
Yeah.
So we ended up at Tom's Town Distillery. They had live jazz and got a couple cocktails, and I thought, man, I wish Gardner had something like this. Somewhere we could go, somewhere you could get away. And people in Gardner have been trained for forever to drive to the city, to drive into Kansas City to go do anything. And I thought, man, it sure would be nice if there was something in town that people could do. So for me, that's, I didn't even consider building somewhere else. Where I was looking, that's what I wanted.
You know how they say, build it and they will come?
Yeah.
It's a fact.
You guys got a perfect spot.
It's very nice.
You're right downtown.
It's really cool.
Great building.
And we try to do something with everybody local.
Yep. And that's what I try to do here. Yep.
Groundhouse Coffee.
Yeah.
We just connect.
Yeah.
Experiment. We work.
Experiment Brewing made us a beer.
Yeah, we got a couple of beers.
In 1918, pre-prohibition.
Yeah, pre-prohibition.
They made us a
beers.
dark and a light.
Yeah.
So Derrick, being Derrick, we get the beer, it tastes great. We put it on tap. He disappears. I'm like, what's going on? He's always disappearing. Where'd he go? He's out at Grandma's looking for this piece of wood to carve to make a tap for our.
Oh, yeah.
So he comes back with.
I was out walking through the woods with a hacksaw. I cut down a branch. I came back with a couple tap handles.
It just hit his mind, and there he goes.
Yeah, you
He's
sound
gone.
a lot handier than me. I am not handy at all.
He's very handy. He's very good.
It definitely comes in handy
And
when
we
you
were,
own this space.
and you'll understand this building this shop. COVID hit, and we were grinding walls at the time. We had
what year did you guys open?
20.
We started in 2019. We took over the building in June of 19. June of 21.
21.
June of 21 is when we took over the building. But then we opened in September of 22. So
it took a minute for that to actually open up.
we have brick walls like this, but they were covered in stucco or paint.
Yeah,
and
I got lucky with this because this was in good shape when I got it.
Yeah, it was $11.99 for the disc. Home Depot
Sanding disc.
Sanding disc. That's the only thing to take it off.
We spent About 5 minutes per brick.
Yeah.
Grinding those walls.
We grind that. We grind those down to the plastic. Two $40 Harbor Freight grinders.
You did that for years.
It was
That's what it seemed like.
I'd leave the school. It was longer than that. It was a long time. But we would leave. I would leave the school. I go home. I have dinner with the kids, put them down to bed, and I was up at the shop till 3:00 in the morning, sitting on scaffolding. We had to rip down all the power, all the electrical. The roof was caving in, so we had some pretty serious structural. One exterior wall.
So did you know all this going in though? No. Oh, that sucks.
So, couldn't even see it.
Yeah.
There's so much
covered.
stuff in there.
So, I was there on scaffolding with a headlamp. In my Carhartts because it's 12
cold
degrees in the shop, grinding away with a generator running.
We had a generator, scaffolding, headlamp, mask, and we just pull shifts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going down tonight. We text each other. I'll be down there.
Yeah.
Make sure I've got discs.
Yeah. When I got this building, there was no heat.
Yeah.
So
it's cold
for 2 months, because I got this building in November of 22. And
not the same time frame.
Yeah, so for 2 months I didn't have heat, and we didn't open until like March. But it was just like doing everything like in here when it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
We had cigar reps coming through. We're covered in dust. You can't tell the color of our shirt. Can't tell what color jeans we're wearing. We're covered in dust. And we got reps coming through. We got some broken lawn chairs that we had zip-tied boards onto the legs and the arms to hold them together still.
Rocky Patel, Will comes in. We got these lawn chairs, a fan. By then it's like 80, 90 degrees in there. And he's like, you guys are wanting to put an order in?
Are you sure?
You don't even have a humidor. Oh, we're going to.
Yeah.
We're going to. He goes, are you sure you're going to? You just kind of look at it like, hey, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, like, hit me up when you guys are done with this.
Yeah.
And then, it's going to be great.
Zane with the
Ashton
comes in, and he's in a suit all the time.
Three-piece suit.
Yeah.
Three-piece suit. It's hot.
It's like 110 degrees in the shop that day.
And my brother Zane, he's sweating.
Yeah.
He comes in and he's like, so where's your humidor? It's right over there. And he got blue tape on the floor. And he's looking, I was like, you want to put an order in? Yeah, we're going to put an order in. So we knew we needed product.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to do it when you got money.
Yep.
So everything, I mean, that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
The humidor pays the rent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we had all these Home Depot tubs full
29
cigars.
29 30-gallon tubs.
Jeez.
And every week,
Tobacco.
Derrick be like, I got to go check the babies.
I go out there.
Go out, make sure all the Humi packs are.
Where did you keep it at?
We kept it, with Kansas law, we had to have it licensed. We had to have all the licensing and everything. The inspector came out a couple times. We had it in
He's
the
probably
basement.
like, what the hell is
Oh,
happening?
yeah. He's like, what?
We had it in the basement of an office building in town.
It came off the truck.
And, yeah. And so I go over there. It was about once a week and check the boxes, make sure humidity's okay. And I would, because there were sealed boxes with Bovita packs, I was worried about them getting over humidified.
Yeah.
And I know Bovita's not supposed to do that, but I was just worried about it. So I'd go out and once a week I'd lay out all the boxes and I'd open up the lids and let them breathe a little bit and then shut the lids back up and stack them all back up in the corner.
Check the babies.
Yeah, all the time. But yeah, we ended up, when we opened, our humidor was pretty big. It's
You guys have a beautiful humidor.
26 by 18,
It was,
I think is what it is, square footage wise.
It was really challenging.
Yeah.
Really challenging. It was really crazy. And we finished building it hours before we grand opening.
We had
literally
Yeah, we had
37 hours. I was up. He was up 30 hours. His brother's up 44 hours straight
building that thing. Yeah.
building it.
And so what we had done is we had said that we were going to open September 1st. That was our goal. And we just couldn't get it done. We were behind on everything. And so we hired somebody to help us build the humidor, and that didn't end up working out. So it was like 3 days before the day we had said we were going to open. There wasn't a cabinet on the wall. There wasn't a shelf on the wall.
And
yet.
All Saints, Mickey Pegg, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, big guy Mick, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm first.
We had actually we had planned on opening on the 1st, but we set an event with Mickey for like a grand opening event on the 8th.
Yeah.
September 8th.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, we're not going to have a humidor. We're not going to have a humidor.
So September 7th,
Yes.
we're in there building. I guess it was
Jeez.
probably September 6th when we started. But we didn't sleep. There was no sleep.
Running
We were
and cutting, outside cutting, coming
And
in.
September 8th, we had said we were opening at noon. The event was that night with Mickey. About 10 o'clock, David Payne,
Yep.
Yes.
who at the time, now he's our Drew Estate guy, but at the time he was our Crown Heads guy. He shows up, and our former Drew Estate guy, Randy. He shows up, and
Will
with Rocky showed up.
Rocky.
And they
I
all
don't want to forget anybody, but all the reps that we had showed up,
and they're helping unbox and put stuff on the shelf.
telling us where the labels go. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about, the community.
Yeah.
Everybody came together.
So
It was just like, wow. And, no sleep.
No.
I went home. I'm done. I had to get a nap. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Mickey's early.
he shows up early, of course. But we're still unboxing cigars, putting them up on the
He's
shelf.
like, looks great.
You're like,
Phenomenal.
sure.
But we did it. We got it
We
done.
did it.
We got it done.
It
And
was
we had a great event that night.
hell of an event.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, yes.
All those reps, you don't forget that.
No. you
No.
don't.
They were there on board. And it was a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll tell you my horror story when I opened. Before I opened, so when I was close to getting this building, I went to Florida for my sister's wedding, and of course, I have my little book. I'm going to cigar lounges. I'm talking and figuring stuff out, taking notes, and I meet one of the owners of the cigar lounges down there, and tell them that, what I want to do. Tell them show them a picture of this building. Like, hey, this is I'm about to get this building, and he's just like, hey, come back tomorrow and we can actually chat and I'll help you out. I'm like, okay. So I go back the next day. I end up talking to him for like 3 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
He's like, he becomes a mentor, right?
Yes.
So after I leave Florida, I'm talking to this guy. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to, but I'm talking to him probably 3 times a week. And he's helping me out. And this was like in July because I opened here in March. So from July to March, I'm talking to him. And it's like 3 times a week, sometimes more. And he's helping me out with everything. And I will say I owe a lot to him just because he helped me out.
Exactly.
And I'm, getting
new
advice
territory.
from and everything. Like he opened up, I think he opened up 16 or 17 shops or had his hand in opening up. So he knew what he was doing. He helped me out. And I'm talking to him. And then when it comes to ordering products, so now this is like mid-February, and I'm like, hey, my grand opening date, I think it was March 3rd. I'm like, hey, I'm getting close. He's like, all right, it's time to put an order in, and he's helping me put an order in, telling me what to get, yada, yada. Like I said, I know cigars, but I don't know how to run a shop
Right.
at this time. So I'm like, yeah, help me out. I don't know what to order. So he puts an order together, and then we get to the point of like, all right, here's your order. So and I should have known this because 15 years as a cop, but he's like, hey, send the order to me because I deal with this company all the time. It's one of the wholesalers like Meyer and Dutch or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can get the taxes taken off, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about it. I deal with them. So you don't have to pay the shipping and all that stuff. Sure. Sounds good. He's like, I'll just ship it straight to you. And then I don't hear from him. And this is like a $10,000-$12,000 order of cigars just to fill, because I don't have a big humidor like you, but like it was enough to fill it up.
It's enough to do damage.
Yeah. And for 2 weeks, I'm trying to contact him, trying to get my order. And he didn't answer his phone for a while. And then he sent me a message like, oh, just got out of the hospital. I'm sorry. Yeah. Then I'm like, oh, I'm getting the runaround. And I'm like, because the whole time I'm like, he had 6 or more months to screw me over and he didn't. Like, why is he choosing now? And I
had that blue brain going.
Yep. And then I kept calling him, and finally I just gave up. So a week before, I have nothing in my humidor, and I have to call Diebels because they're down the street. Andrew Snyder, I don't know if you guys you guys know him.
Andrew's good.
He helped me. I just had to reorder everything.
It never came.
No, not from him. No. So I had to reorder everything and just put new stuff in just to have just to fill it for my grand opening. And it wasn't even full. Like for my grand opening, I think I had like 60 or some boxes because I got screwed over.
Right.
And
it hurts when you're opening the door.
Yeah. And so like I started off the gate like in the hole with product. And it sucked. Like that was like my one true bad experience in the cigar world. I'm like, this guy screwed me over. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't go to PCA, because I was like, I'm going to see him and I'm going to do something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But then
call an uncle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're the Italian guy.
I know a guy.
But a couple months ago,
that hurts.
Like I looked at like a couple of his shops that he had in Florida, and they're all shut down. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. He probably was just like, he probably on his last leg and saw an opportunity. I'm just trying to make it seem better for me.
Hard to justify.
Yeah. But I was like, that's like, so I understand like the tough times you're going through. Like,
right and you still have that payment to the bank at the end of the month.
Yeah, like my credit card didn't care. Like, that's the thing, and that's another thing too. I paid it with my credit card, and I was just like, I can't get out of this. I can't be like, I didn't order that. Like I got scammed. Like, well, you paid for it,
right?
Like, so I was just like, you know what, chalk it up as a loss. I learned, and it didn't like change my mind about the cigar world because I was in it for so long and the culture. But it's just like, you're going to run into some bad apples every once in a while. But that made me was just like, ugh, like it sucks that there's still shitty people out in the world.
Yeah.
Well, we got lucky, Brian Waters at Open Door down in Fayetteville, I think.
Yeah.
He was
Open Door.
He was a big help to us.
Police officer.
Yeah. We had those phone calls. I had phone calls with him, lots of them. Him and Dave Garofalo with Two Guys Smoke Shop up in New Hampshire. I talked to him a bunch on the phone.
Yeah.
And, Matt at Fireside there in Olathe, he helped us out a lot. Just
actually day one, no fuel. Day one, opening day, no fuel. Didn't come. My wife and I are driving to the opening. Well, I think she was driving. Actually, I had no sleep. I said, 10 o'clock, pull up to Fireside. She goes, what? I go, just do it. Just do it. Just take me over there. I don't have time to explain. Knock on the door, and there he is. What do you need? I go, brother, we have no fuel.
No butane.
I'll pay full price. He was absolutely not.
Yeah.
Gave me a case of fuel. Just right out of his stock.
That's what the culture's about. Yeah.
It just,
I have a
like, wow.
similar story. Like I had a golf tournament that I was helping out with, and they ordered a whole bunch of cigars, and so I'm packaging them up. They wanted like 2 or 3 cigars in a package with a cutter and a lighter.
Yeah.
I had everything except the cutter. It didn't come in, and for some reason I was like a week off, and they're like, "Hey, we'll be by tomorrow to get it." I'm like, "I don't have the cutters yet," and they're back ordered. So I called Ben at La Cultura. I'm like, I don't know. I don't care how much it is. I need like 100 cutters.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, they have my label on it. I don't care.
Yeah. I need them.
I need them.
We need a cutter.
It's going to look weird when I give these packages out. It says, it has the shop cigar lounge matches and, Fidel's or La Cultura cutter. I was like, I don't care at this point. You're just going to get some free marketing from me.
And like Weston does the same thing. Zeb.
Yeah.
Great guy.
So
great shop. Does the same thing.
With Zeb, a lot of people don't know this. I worked out there for almost 2 years. When I was still a cop, I would go out there like a day or two part-time and learn the business. Because when I knew I wanted to open this up, I was like, I got to learn how to actually, run a shop. Yeah. So Zeb, him and Maggie's not there anymore, but they both let me in, and I helped out, and
he's
I
awesome.
even like helped out with all their events too. Like I was MC for a couple of the cigar,
all right,
the Cigar Fest ones.
Yeah, we take a table of customers of our customers up there to that Cigar Fest every year, and Zeb's a great guy, and Corey
Frisbee
who opened that shop. He and my dad were friends back when Corey was painting houses before he was in the industry.
He's like living the life now. He's half-time in Dominican, half-time in Wisconsin, trying to grow tobacco.
Yeah, but he's down to the roots of it.
Yeah.
He was another big help for us, an inspiration and a help for us in getting started. And it's like family. It's a great community.
Yeah, it's such a small community
industry.
too. It's like everybody knows everybody. Like once you get in the cigar culture,
And they
world,
always say it's just the 1% of the population. I said, yeah, but it's the good percent.
fantastic.
I mean,
yeah.
who doesn't want to come have a cigar, maybe a little bourbon scotch? I'm a coffee guy. So for me, a cup of coffee and a stogie, you know, I'm in my little world.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's all these shops around that we're spoiled. You can go any direction and have your moment.
Yeah. I will say that most reps I talk to that kind of go around the country, they say that Kansas City is kind of special because we all kind of get along.
Yeah.
Like a lot of other shops.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case at all. Because like I think any of us can kind of call each other and say, "Hey, I need help," or "Hey, I need to bounce an idea," or something. It's easy for me because like if I have a Kansas problem, like I'm calling you, and if I have like a local problem, I'm calling Ben. Like it's just like, and it's easy because it's like
they've already been through it.
Yep.
And there's plenty of, I mean, it needs to be a sisterhood, a brotherhood, you know. It needs to be that.
So we got like 20 minutes left. So we got to talk about your shop a little bit. So you guys opened it up. How's it going so far?
It's awesome.
Going well.
Yeah.
It's
Was it over 2 years now, right?
We just had our second anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, we've been doing monthly events, sometimes 2 events a month, you know, lots of cigar events going on. When we opened up our bar, you know, we have that speakeasy that I talked about.
The Forge.
The
But
Forge.
if you guys don't know, I haven't been out there. Me and my wife are going to go to date night.
If you do it, this is the month to do it.
Oh,
really? Yeah, you got a new menu coming out,
the
right?
Stockton family, God bless their soul, they don't do anything the right way. They do it the right way times 10. So currently, if you come to the speakeasy, which you need to do, there's probably 1,000 Christmas ornaments hanging from the ceiling.
1006.
1,000.
And
Get the number right.
It is phenomenal. It is, and we have very good staff.
Yeah.
All the drinks you're going to wait a little bit, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's
going
date
to be a
night,
damn
you
good
know?
drink. Yeah.
It's all crafted, handcrafted, scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once you get out of the speakeasy, we also have a large lot that we've converted into an outdoor bar, patio bar, with a big covered patio. Plus, then we have this huge place that's turfed with AstroTurf. We've got a stage out there, so we do live music. Probably not this month or next month when it's real cold, but a lot of live music out there.
You do it at the Forge, though.
And we were doing live jazz every week,
Thursday nights.
but that, for whatever reason, never really took off. So
it's a grind, man. I learned it's like
the talent's there.
Yeah, no, but it's like you know, you don't have like a ton of people coming in probably all the time. Right. I learned it's like you gotta sometimes you gotta just push through it.
We got a guy Aaron, his neighbor, sings Frank Sinatra.
Oh, he's awesome.
Man.
Got to hook you up with.
Yeah, please.
It's
great.
Yeah, because
there's people leaving crying.
Yeah, I do just jazz
crying.
here, so
it was just
it.
He was phenomenal.
And then I Lauren Ashley came out and played with you guys.
God.
Oh, she's awesome.
I had so many people message me. They're like, "Mike, you have to have her out."
Yeah.
And so she played last Friday here.
And Savannah
Ray.
God.
Is another good one.
Yeah, and then you guys got Sarah. I know we're like
Sarah
talking like
Williams.
everyone
Sarah
knows. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're spoiled.
Yeah.
We've had just
And their heart's in it.
Alex Abramovitz. He's another one that you got it. Three-piece band.
Ensemble. Yeah.
Well, they came out and played a 7-piece jazz band on our stage one night.
Yeah.
It's
just we've had some really great talent come out there.
And no cover. You know, you just come buy a drink.
Yep. Yeah. And that's why it's like always people coming in like, "Hey, what's the cover?" Just buy a cigar. Buy a cigar, throw them a tip, or do something. Support in some kind of way. Yep.
Yeah. We want to provide this for you. We want you to not, you know, you're right here local. Come on in.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Oh, the igloos.
Yeah, so we actually just put up, we've got 5 igloos out there.
I saw that. That's super cool.
They all have a theme.
And, you know, it's 20 degrees outside, and those igloos tonight, they'll be 70 degrees in there.
Oh, that's perfect. That's why I'm
t-shirt
jealous
weather.
because you guys got an outdoor space. I don't have an outdoor
Well,
space.
we just buy these buildings, knock these trees down.
Knock them down. Yeah, there we
All you
go.
gotta do is cut a hole in a wall.
Yeah, I want to do a rooftop here because you
Yeah.
can see all downtown skyline.
That would
Yeah.
be really cool.
That's just a lot of money.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, for a box of cigars, I could break my Ryobi out.
All right.
We get busy.
No, it's
Just got dream.
we've got a great spot, and with this this weekend actually is the first weekend that we're doing reservations in the igloos. And then the new menu comes out tonight. The new holiday menu comes out tonight. So really, really looking forward to that. It's going to be
That's
wonderful.
cool.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing anything for New Year's Eve?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I got 4 kids at home. I kind of want to spend New Year's Eve with the family.
Everyone's trying to pressure me to do something. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to spend. Because during the week, it'd be different if it was on a Friday or Saturday.
Right.
I think it's like on a Wednesday or something or Tuesday. I'm like, I might just regular hours and come in and get your cigars before you go out.
Yeah.
That's where we had actually one of our good friends, Josh Bowling,
Yep.
is our Espinosa rep.
Good guy.
And
Great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. And so we had set up to do an event with him, and I called him up a few days after we set it up, like, man, I don't know. Let's hold off. I want to spend time with the family.
Yep.
I spend so much time
At the shop.
It's 7 days a week,
Yep.
all day long, late nights, especially with the bar now. I got
we've-
kids at home. I don't want to miss it.
Thank goodness we've slowed down with construction. We were doing a lot of it ourselves.
Yeah, we do everything here
Yeah,
ourselves.
we had a company come in and help us with the roof. We were so far behind. They built the roof, they built the patio bar, and they built our liquor locker.
Yeah.
Oh, and they finished our bar for us.
Yeah.
The tile.
Yeah, people don't understand sometimes. It's like, you're a small business owner, sometimes you got to do it yourself.
Yeah. Well, we had.
like- yeah.
Boy, when
We couldn't have paid someone.
the
to do
general
that.
contractor
It would've
showed
cost
up
so
and he
much.
shot us the price, I was like, well, looks like I'm learning blueprints.
Yeah, it was a lot. But
But when you sit back and you look at it, it's like, I built this.
Yeah.
You can't take this away from me.
Yeah.
I did it.
So I'm glad you say
Know
that
what I'm
because
saying?
I have to sometimes sit down and relax and do
Yeah.
that because I don't
Yeah.
get to do that enough.
Yeah.
People always ask me like, do you ever sit down and just say, look what look what I
want to.
did? Like I would love to.
I want to.
But
That's
I'm
why you got to
always doing
slip
something.
away.
Yeah.
You got to go to another shop.
Yeah. Oh,
There
you
you
ain't
go.
kidding. That's what
That's
I
what
try
we
to
do.
do.
Yeah.
I used to do that on Mondays, but then that was like when I first opened, but now I'm like super busy. I have to do stuff. I'm like, I need to get back in that routine.
You
Because
gotta
I remember
take a
I went
break.
out to you guys and
Yeah.
I went everywhere. And it's like,
We
it's
love it.
nice to just
We love
get
it.
away
Yeah,
and
it's nice
just
to get out.
like,
Yeah.
all right, now I could be a patron.
Yeah.
You guys got to take care of me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
then I can come in like, you guys got any Cubans?
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, I'm glad it's going good. You guys got like any upcoming events coming up?
Mommy.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Saturday night we got an event with your mommy.
I mean, is
Local
crazy,
guy.
Yeah.
hilarious,
He's a
great
hustler.
deals. He's a hustler. I don't know how many businesses that man has, but he is. I would say that he would probably go all full out cigar if he
Yeah.
he does marketing. He's got some kind of shop in Lawrence, and you call him up 30 minutes later, he's there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like, "What's the problem? What do you need?" And just super cool guy.
Yeah.
Great cigar.
Yeah.
Great labeling.
And then December 16th, we've got a Crowned Heads event. Mm-hmm. So we've got that.
With
coming
Danny?
up. Yep, with
Yeah.
Danny. Danny Hennessy. Another
Yes.
good guy. Great
Yeah.
guy.
Another good guy.
And then going into the new year, our first event of the new year is with Bruce with Adventura.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have
Love Bruce.
They have great cigars too.
Yes, they do. It's just I can't wait to get rid of my main job.
Yeah, that's one of my next questions is. So you're full time,
I'm
right?
full time. This is what I do.
Yeah, and so what and then you're about to be. So when was like the point of when you were just like, all right, I have to leave and I got to do this.
Oh,
So,
day one.
I love teaching. I loved it. I loved my job. It's what I'd always dreamed of doing was being a high school teacher. I was taking students on trips up to Montana to do dinosaur work up there. I was
You look like
Oh, you should.
a dinosaur hunter.
I got bones, dinosaur fossils from a specimen I found. It was probably 7 or 8 years ago now.
I need to bring in one of my friends one day when you're here, if you or take him to you, because he doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
Oh, they're there.
I found him.
Yes, I was like someone that's actually seen them.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're there.
So I've, I loved it. So my original plan when we first started this, he talked about that little tiny building that we looked at, and my thought was, some cabinet humidors, maybe a couple chairs, real small lounge, but it was primarily going to be grab and go is what we thought we were going to do. And at that time I thought, well, I'll run that on the weekends, evenings and weekends, and I'll continue to teach throughout the week. And as soon as we looked at that other building and we saw what we had as far as, the space and the opportunity that comes along with that, we realized there's no way I can do this part-time.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go full boat.
And really, with these small businesses, I think with any small business, you've got to be all in. It's way more than what you would think it would be.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot, and you have to bet on yourself. And you live there. Like you have to spend a majority of your time in your business, because if you want it to survive, there's nights I've stayed in here because I'm like, I got to wake up at this time.
Yeah, might as well just
do
crash.
this and that. Yeah.
Right.
Short snooze.
Yeah, that's like that office. There's a little couch up there, so I can sleep.
Yeah, I've slept in our chairs a few times, but it was when we got that building and we really started planning and we really started going all out on this thing. That's when I realized, it's got to be full time, and it's way more than full time.
Yeah, it's like full time times 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it.
I'm on call. I can't be there. His dad has 2 law offices.
Yeah,
it's his mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we need the anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Need somebody there to yell and scream at.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
you're definitely the anchor.
Yeah.
But you also have, what I've learned, that you also have to have a good face of the shop.
Right.
Like the shop has to have its own identity, and it has to have
the go-to.
A couple people that are the face of the place. And when people come to a lounge, a lot of times, your regulars, they're there to see you and you. They're there to hang out, but they're there to hang out with you guys too.
And one thing that we do, when we first started this, I said, okay, I'm in 3 requirements. When you go into that humidor, I want something nobody else has.
Mm-hmm.
So that person come get that gift for an aunt, their mom, a cousin, their dad, their uncle. It's like, oh, I've not seen this.
Yeah.
We've got it.
Yeah.
And then I said, I don't want to go all the way down on the floor and grab a cigar that I like and then try and get back up. So 18 inches down is storage.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you, police, firemen, veterans, I want a place, if you're disabled, you can get around around my humidor.
Mm-hmm.
46 inches.
Yep.
You can freewheel all the way through there, whatever. And everybody gets greeted. Everybody gets assisted in the cigar in the humidor, and everybody gets a story, whether they want it or not. They're going to get a story. Let me tell you about this cigar, and all of a sudden it goes a whole different path.
One of the things, I'm sure that you saw it too, going into cigar lounges and sitting lounges. Every shop takes on its own identity, but one thing that I think a shop has to have, and every successful shop has to have, something that sets them apart, and it's customer service is number one, right? You have to have great customer service, and if you don't have that, then it's just not viable,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
But then for us, we really tried to select cigars that are different. So we, we spent a lot of time smoking cigars, figuring out what we want. I've hand selected every cigar in that humidor. I've smoked every single cigar in that humidor, and we have about 800 facings, and I've smoked every one. And a lot of stuff didn't make the cut. But we differentiated ourselves with the selection that we have, bringing in stuff. Some of the cigars aren't in any other shop other than a couple shops down in Florida. It's really boutique-y. So that's kind of set us apart. And then the customer service aspect. Every time somebody walks through that door, they're greeted when they come in.
And it's not just a man's world.
It's not.
Women come in, cut and light, sit back, and they want to have a safe environment. And most all the shops I've seen, they have it.
Yeah, it's like most catered to men, and I don't know, I never understood that. It's like catered to people that are going to come in and support.
That are there for the leaf.
Yep.
And it's worked out well for us. And you, I know try it's to very teach, inviting here.
Yeah, I try to not teach. I try to anyone that walks through the door, I treat them as if they're a member, even if they're not a member.
Yeah.
Like I want them to feel welcome coming here.
Of course.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of places around here. You walk in and like shops properly ran if that's the way it is. Like you walk in, you get greeted properly, and you feel like you're welcome.
Yeah,
yeah, and like Toscano, the Italian cigar, it's passed down generation to the women have the fine detail. They do all the rolling. It's passed down generation to generation.
Yeah.
It's just very cool.
The idea that cigars are for men, I think, is really a modern concept. Go back into the early 1900s. There were a lot of women smokers, but it became, at some point, it became sort of a masculine, manly thing to do, and women kind of stopped getting into it. And, we have a lot of women that come through our shop that love cigars, that are regulars, that, are part of the family.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's important to us.
Yeah, I have a lot of females come in, and like that's one of their first questions, like, how many females come in here, or how many female members? And like they're surprised. I'm like, there's a lot of females that come in here, and a lot of female members, because it's like they want to feel like welcome, and they want to feel like comfortable.
And what we've noticed is a lot of them will start off with a flavored cigar.
Yeah, and
then I'd say 3 or 4 months down the road, what's the strongest thing you've got? I'm like, whoa. Well, I wanted to punch me in the mouth. And I'm like, well, let me show you this booger right here.
Let's work our way up.
This one right here hurt me.
Yeah.
But the rollers primarily across the industry are women.
Yeah.
And the sorters are primarily women.
Yeah, the roller I use, she works here. She's one of 2 master tobacconists that's a female in the country. And she's a roller.
Right.
She's right here.
Awesome.
Well, the science behind it, women can see and smell and taste 15% more than men can.
Well, they're smarter than us too.
Well,
tell my wife
they pick
that.
out all the imperfections, just like the men. He's not going to work. Get him over the side.
But so, there's some science behind that. The tasting, we experience the world slightly different. And so they come in and get them on a good cigar, a good full-bodied cigar or something.
Yep.
It's got some flavor to it.
Yeah.
People love it.
Yep.
So.
Good. So what is next 5-10 years? What do you guys
we got
see
some stuff in the works. We got some stuff in the works. We're not quite ready to spill the beans yet.
Okay, good.
But, continue growing our shop, obviously. Continue growing what we've got, and continue down that path, both with the 2 bars and the cigar shop. Mm-hmm. But we've got some other stuff.
You guys got a destination point, which is cool. And
it's called retirement, Mike.
Yeah. I would love
no more trips to Home Depot.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not in my future.
You know what? That would be great.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
I go to Lowe's probably twice a week.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
I tell you.
That actually, I need to put that on my list. Like next 5-10 years, 1 trip to Lowe's.
I always hate to see the call on the phone. Derrick Stock. Oh God! Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, maybe just call to see how you're doing.
Stop by Home Depot on the way in. I need a 1x2, a 1x6. Oh, Derrick, come on! Constant. You got to stop.
Now we've got some big stuff in the works too. So.
Good.
Yeah. Excited to keep growing.
Yeah, I love your shop. You guys are doing.
We
awesome
love it. This is. I mean, it's beautiful.
Hey, this is just.
You did your homework.
Yeah, we're just out west. We're almost very similar. We're just.
I love it.
I guess east of you. North.
It's just so inviting. I love the coffee bar.
Yeah.
I mean, you've
done well.
You knocked it out of the park.
And tried. I was like you guys, just went to different lounges and then mine was more of like, I wanted my lounge to be more of what a lounge would look like if you 1943.
Yes.
You walked in.
Old school.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, all right, because I didn't want a lot of TVs or anything. I just wanted it to be just like its most traditional lounge.
We didn't grow up in the right era.
It's so funny.
I'm like the suits, the tie, the hat,
Yeah, most of the time I'm in a suit.
I love that.
Today I was like, I got to be comfortable.
I love that look.
When we first started our overall design, the furniture, we're picking out furniture and light fixtures and we're doing all of the decorating. Our thought was 1920s Dockside Cuba. That was the look that we had originally, and it kind of morphed from there a little bit. But that was the original thought. Was let's take it back to the 1920s.
Yeah,
and we had talks about not putting TVs in at all.
Yeah,
with the Chiefs season coming.
So I get lucky because I have a big projection screen there.
Yeah.
and so that covers that whole entire wall.
Yeah.
So people are like, "Yo, you only have one TV." I was like, "Well, I have a movie theater projector right there."
Right.
So it's like,
I got a
the
TV.
games can be on and we can watch it. So trust me, everyone can see.
And there's a lot of times we'll be in there. Oh, forgot to turn the TV out. Nah, don't worry about it.
All the
we
time.
don't need it.
Yeah,
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
turn
like,
the TV
geez,
on.
yeah.
Or
forgot
the
about
lights. This guy with the lights.
It's nice and dim. It's nude. It's nude.
I tell you, I come in there, I'm stumbling over it. Where's the lights?
Yeah.
All right. So before we end it, I guess tell people where they can find your shop, the address, social media stuff.
We're in downtown Gardner, Kansas. 204 East Park Street is our address, but we're right downtown. We're a block off Main Street. We've got the corner complex there. And you can find us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, at Ash and Anvil Cigar Lounge, The Forge, and The Bellows, which is the name of our outdoor bar.
Yeah.
So you can find all that there. And the reservation system for the igloos has gone live, so you can reserve igloos and have a little private event there. We do host private parties in the speakeasy and outside, so you can host private events there.
You can rent out the Forge.
Yep. So
Have birthdays and retirements, anniversaries.
Yep.
but you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We have a website as well. We've got a few different websites. Ash and Anvil Cigar Lounge. It's actually Ash and Anvil Cigars.com and theforgekc.com.
Cool.
Yep. It's come a long way.
Good. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and
I appreciate
it's been
this.
Great. I love talking to you guys. So this is.
thank you for having us
It could be another 3 hours of just us talking about cigar stuff. I was like, all right, I got.
We're gonna go visit your humidor.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little short here. So.
Yeah.
Pre-gamed, I got my next cigar.
Oh my god!
One of my
He's ready for
favorites,
round two.
601
Yeah.
Blue. That's
Yeah.
right.
601 Blue.
Espinosa, one of my favorites.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and like I
Mike.
said, follow us on all the platforms, all the social media platforms. It's Strawberry Hill Podcast, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.